Right. Hello, Professor. Today I'm going to be talking about desalination and water scarcity and the lessons from deep time, the the Messinian salinity crisis. Oh, I apologize. So first, global water scarcity. Basically, we lack fresh water. That's essentially the most basic way that I can state it. We don't have enough fresh water to sustain the amount of people that are on the planet, and the amount of fresh water that we do have doesn't get used in an appropriate way that is self-sufficient. We spend about 70% of our global water supply on agricultural needs, leaving only about 30% for consumption and drinking purposes, and not all of that 30% is safe drinking water. A lot of it is contaminated with feces or diseases or strong minerals that our body just cannot digest. It's a real issue that we face just year round, all the time, worldwide. You can see the baseline water stress is pretty extremely high in the Middle East, here in California, closer to Central America as well. It's a problem. Desalination is a process that we can use to treat ocean water and essentially remove all the salt particles, the minerals from the water, leaving behind just pure water for us to drink. It's done through a process of reverse osmosis. The image right here shows a little bit of that process. And there's also a Dutch startup that I read about known as the Desolinator, and it uses solar panels to basically produce the same outcome, doing the same process, also reverse osmosis, but it's just used by solar energy rather than um, us producing our own energy to move the process along. Benefits of desalination: there's a good conversion percentage rate. For every one pound of ocean water, we would be able to make a pound and a half of clean drinking water. And then with reverse osmosis plants, there's a lot of adaptability. We can make small plants, we can make large plants. Uh, it basically is on us, you know. And as you see, as the on the infograph that I've provided, seawater makes up a large portion of the accessible water in many countries around the world. So providing these plants to these areas would be very beneficial and would provide a source of water for the communities, you know. The only problems that I found with desalination is there's high climate pollution. It takes a lot of energy to allow these plants to run properly. And so it's very bad for the environment. And then we also have a large side effect in the realm of brine. Sorry, I didn't know how to say that more correctly. But brine is basically all the stuff that is left behind after we run the water through RO. And most of that gets pumped just back into the ocean, which causes salinity levels to change, collapsing ecosystems, all that stuff. So not good. Um, and then I also wanted to touch on the MSC, the Mezzanine crisis that occurred, the drying up. It happened during the Miocene epoch, and it was from tectonic plate movement that collapsed this area of land where the Atlantic Ocean met the Mediterranean. And because of Mediterranean climate, high temperatures, and not a constant influx of water, it allowed this area to dry out, or that resulted in this area drying out. Ecosystems died, marine life died, lots of fossils were discovered, which allowed us to understand that this is an event that transpired in the past. And then the Zanclean megaflood is what broke back down through this barrier that was originally formed through the tectonic movement, bringing new water, new ecosystem back to the Mediterranean. And the consequences that we found from the drying up of this area was massive biodiversity collapse and altered marine biogeography. So, because it all dried up, the entire biodiverse ecosystem there went away. And then, after the flood occurred, it brought a new marine biogeography back, but the old one was no longer relevant. It didn't respring back. Animals didn't come back. It's all brand new. Um, And that is a consequence because an entire ecosystem was just gone. We're never going to get that back. And this new ecosystem, maybe it has learned to adapt to this area, but I think I really wanted to focus on the biodiversity collapse as a consequence because if we look at the pros and cons of desalinity, while it is beneficial in the realm of being able to have accessible water worldwide, the issues that can come with brine being pumped back into the ocean can cause a lot of failures in our marine ecosystems. And we don't want to be doing something that is going to negatively impact our environment. We want to positively impact it. So that's all I got. These are the resources for desalination, and these are the resources for the Messinian event. I hope that was informative for you. I thank you for listening and have a good day.